What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all has been well. Today I have this. In this bag is a JOYTUS tent. It's a bed tent that goes over your bed, and this could possibly be your most effective RTT replacement. I picked probably the most windiest day to come out here to shoot this video, so you guys should be able to see how it handles the wind. It's super windy. JOYTUTUS, I don't know how to say their name, but they sent this to me for a review, for the jig, for the free, and yeah, they said to be brutally honest, so I'm gonna give you guys all the ins and outs. This is actually, that video I just shot of me unzipping it was the first time that I went out and I opened it, so it's the first time it's opened. Everything you guys are gonna see is the first time for me as well. So let's get into this. Should be pretty quick. It is super windy out here. Don't lose your bag. I hope I can set this up in this wind. Don't lose this. There's an instruction manual on the inside. Tent bag, main pole, rear pole, top pole, pole flag. Hooks need to fix the tent. Okay. We'll just look at that later. So here's the tent. Ooh, here's all the poles. So this is actually meant for a 5.5 foot bed. The Tacoma is a 5 foot bed, so it should hang over. So these are the aluminum rods. I know that they have a fiberglass option, but these are definitely aluminum. Let's just go put you back here so you just watch it from afar. It's put on a little jank. It's a little bit too windy to be setting up a tent. Even with like a regular ground tent, this would have been nuts. So yeah, that's what it's gonna kind of look like. It should be better than this if you're using this when it's not freaking hella windy outside. Do not recommend setting this up in windy weather, but right now, so really what you're supposed to do is set this up off of the truck, then lift it up, put it on the truck, then ratchet it down. But I'm by myself and putting it on the truck first and then doing all this stuff. It's probably easier because if I put it on the ground and put it up there, it'd probably fly away. Look how windy it is. I don't know if you can tell how windy it is. So this is it from the back, the side profile, looking kind of, this thing is big, man. Holy, let's go inside. But this is the inside. So it's kind of weird because I have my water port right here and then the Roto pack, but if you don't have this stuff in here, you won't have this issue. There's one window back here for some ventilation, about that way. There's one window here, opens up here. I like this. I like having windows so I can see outside. If there's stuff crackling in the middle of the forest, I want to know it's outside. This is nice. There's another window over here. Full kind of everywhere view. This also zips down, and I think this opens up to another window. So you have a full, pretty much 270 view of wherever you're camping. There's also two pockets here, one there. Oh, there's four. One there and one there. It is a little bit big for the Tacoma bed. is actually a lot big for the Tacoma bed. It does hang over some, hang over a lot some. I think like something like a Tundra, this would fit on a lot more better. Someone that's 5'5", this is a lot more space than I had when I had just the soft topper. It's pretty nice. Putting it up in the wind, super freaking hard. If you're putting this up in windy situations, I would just sleep in the cab personally, because it was a headache getting this up. If you were going to do it the right way, set it up while it's on the ground. This would most likely fly away from you when you're trying to get it back on the truck bed. So that's why I did put it on the truck bed first and then set it up that way. I know that's not how you're supposed to do it, but that's what worked for me by myself. So pros and cons. I would say the first pro is I could almost all the way stand up in here. So you got about 5 foot 3 inches of headroom at the highest point. That's a bunch of room for a tent. Headroom, really nice amount of headroom. My second pro is the space that you do get around. There is a bunch of space, so basically whatever extra space you have in your bed, that's what you're gonna have. My third pro is it covers up your liner. For me, when I was sleeping in the soft topper, the thing that sucked was all the dirt and stuff that would get into the soft topper when we're on the trails. I'd basically sleeping on it, I'd wake up with like dust on my face, dust in my mouth, everything on me just from sleeping in here. So with this setup, there's no extra dust you have to deal with. It's just as long as you keep this place clean, then it's gonna stay clean. My fourth pro is that there's pretty much 360-degree windows. I think this one opens up to a window. No, it doesn't. That's just the vent. So there's 270-degree windows. When I was sleeping in the soft topper, the thing that I hated the most was not being able to see stuff. So with the soft topper, when something went crackling in the night, I wasn't able to look out this window because there was no windows. So now you could look out the window. There's something going on over there. Look out this window. Look out this window. The window that was on the soft topper, whenever we would go on trails, it would always be kicked up with dust, so I would never be able to see out that. So it's just complete darkness almost in the soft topper. Fifth pro, definitely be that the tailgate is open, so you do get this full bed space. Before with the soft topper, I would sleep with the tailgate up, which pretty much made me have to sleep crookedly. It's windy. So, cons. There's 3 big cons I have. Con number 1 would be this wind noise. If it's windy, you're gonna hear a lot of flopping, a lot of flapping. If you need a quiet night's sleep, this is not your choice. This is 100% not your choice. Big con number 2 for me is the setup time. It's just like setting up a ground tent, but putting it on top of your bed. So whatever amount of time it takes you to put up a tent on the ground, it's going to be the same here. For me, the reason why I was sleeping in my soft topper was because I didn't like setting up a tent. I didn't like how it took so much time. With the soft topper, I just had to throw my bed pad in, throw my pillows in, get my sleeping bag, and I was good to go. This just adds to the setup time of your camp, and I don't like that. I like being efficient. I like just having everything ready to go. So a big thing for me for an RTT is leaving your stuff in the RTT, popping it up, going to sleep. Here you still have to put the whole tent up, you have to put your bed in, you have to put all your stuff to sleep in, and then in the morning you have to pack it all up, or however long you're staying there, but you still have to pack it up, which kind of sucks because it adds to your takedown and put up time. So con number 3 is going to be these. If you value your paint at all, you're gonna have these buckles everywhere, just rubbing up on every little thing. So these little buckles right here, causing more noise, rubbing up on your paint. That's a big negative for me. So back at the crib, it's not windy here. At the lake, I think it was pushing like 30 mile per hour winds. But yeah, so for the budget-minded person that wants to spend the least amount of money and have a tent that's off the ground, I would definitely look into this. $170 on Amazon is much more cheaper than having to buy a rack, a bed rack, some kind of bar system to put a rooftop tent on. The rack, you're probably looking at somewhere between, I don't know, on the low end, maybe $400, $500. On the high end, $1,000. Plus you have to buy your RTT. It's another $1,000 on the low end. On the high end, we're talking like 5 racks on the high end. So definitely for the budget-minded person, I would definitely look into this. It gets you off the ground, puts shelter above you, and it actually gives you a bunch of space. Another thing to keep in mind is you have to empty your truck bed to put the tent on. A lot of people like to pack a lot of stuff. If you don't like having to unpack your rig before you sleep in it, then this is not your answer. You just have to take everything out. Then you can sleep in your bed. Which kind of sucks because if you have a bunch of stuff in your truck bed, then you have to take it out. Whereas if you had a RTT, just pop it up. Leave everything inside your truck bed. Another thing too is if you have an RTT, in most cases, at least now, you could leave all your sleeping stuff in the RTT, fold it up, and then close your RTT and you're gone. With this, you have to pack everything up that you put in here and then put it somewhere. It's not as easy to set up. It's definitely time consuming. If you're in the middle of the night, I would not want to be putting that tent up. It's kind of a pain in the butt, especially if there's a little bit of wind. You might be chasing your tent across your campsite. Speaking of setup time, in regular camping conditions, it probably only take you maybe 10 minutes to set up at most. But 10 minutes versus, I don't know, a minute setting up your RTT, because it's up to you on how much time you want to waste. I suppose it's a little bit more, just because all your stuff is in your RTT, whereas here you have to set up your whole bed. Also, even with RTTs, you're gonna have to worry about wind noise. There's gonna be some flappage, but with this setup, there was definitely some huge flappage. When I was sleeping in the soft topper, there was no flappage at all. It was solid. I could sleep through the night. Even if there was some wind, the movement isn't from the soft topper, it's from the bed moving, from the whole truck moving, if it was that windy. With this tent setup, you're definitely gonna have a bunch of tent movement and a lot of extra noise associated with that. So I've only had this tent, I really only opened it today, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So I only had this for the initial review. I'm probably not gonna be able to give you guys a full long-term review. I'm gonna be giving this tent to either my wife's cousins or one of my friends. For some reason they all bought Gladiators at the same time, so they all have truck beds to be able to give you a long-term review. I'm not gonna be able to give it to you guys because I have a bed rack sitting in my garage, and that's gonna go here. And I personally am gonna be going with an RTT. For the budget-minded person that wants to get off the ground and have a bed tent, I definitely wouldn't think twice. Something like this is definitely worth it in my book. The soft topper was okay, but that was a lot more than this tent. So if you're looking for a budget option, this is definitely the one. For anyone that's interested in this tent, I'll leave the link down below in the description. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down below. I get back pretty quick. If you like the video, make sure to hit that like button because it always helps me out. And if you want to see more of me, more of the rig, more overlanding, more trails, hit that subscription button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.